Now, from the news team that's covering the Carolinas, this is Channel 9 Eyewitness News Daybreak at 6.
Look at this. It is only 12 degrees in Charlotte right now. So if you are heading back to work and school today, get ready for the bone-chilling cold. I'm Blaine Tollison.
And I'm Brittany Johnson. We have team coverage for you this morning, pinpointing how long this freezing weather will last. We're also showing you what school districts are doing to make sure students are warm on their way to school.
And we're also following breaking news out of Gastonia. At least 300 customers are without power in these freezing temperatures. This map shows the neighborhoods impacted. It's people who get their power from the city of Gastonia's utility service there. And we have a live picture from the substation on South New Hope Road. The city trying to figure out how the widespread problem is and what caused this outage. You can see there, it looks like we have some utility trucks on scene, several trying to get to the bottom of this. They say they hope to restore power by 9 o'clock. We're asking if they will set up a shelter for people who need to stay warm.
Yeah, definitely kind of a bummer to have your power out in all this cold. Meteorologist Keith Monday has been talking to us about how it's 12 degrees but feels much.
It's really unfortunate. Those that are waking up thinking, why is it so cold in the house without that power out there this morning? We're 12 in Charlotte, it's 13 in Gastonia, so it's no better over there. 4 at Lincoln. The mountains are the coldest in the single digits, but of course, there's a bit of a wind up there. Wind chills have been below 0. Even at Hickory right now, the current wind chill is 1 below. It feels like 4 at Charlotte, 7 in Gastonia. So even just the lightest wind is making it feel even worse out there to start out. So our temps will stay in the teens all morning. Lots of sunshine will be in place today, but it will take it to the early afternoon before we even get back to above freezing. Coming up, we'll talk about how there's even more deep chill on the way as we head through this week. Brittany.
All right, now CMS is still on winter break, but several local school districts are on a 2-hour delay this morning.
And they include Anson, Burke, Cabarrus, Caldwell, Catawba, Cleveland, Chesterfield, Gaston, Hickory City, Kannapolis City, and Rowan Salisbury schools.
Eyewitness News reporter Gina Esposito is live at the Gaston County school bus lot to explain why those districts are taking those extra precautions this morning.
Well, in the past 45 minutes, mechanics arrived here to make sure that these school buses right here start despite these freezing temperatures. These Gaston County school buses haven't been running in about 2 weeks. Now, I want to show you a view of the lot from our mass cam. You can see the light inside this building is on. School districts say the delay will help them fix any issues before drivers leave to pick up students this morning. While the district focuses on getting these buses warmed up for students, they want to remind parents to bundle up their children if they're going to be waiting for the bus this morning. They'll need their heavy coat, gloves, and hat. And while many districts start today, CMS students don't go back until tomorrow. We've reached out to the district leaders to see if they're taking steps today, like checking their buses before students go back. We are waiting to hear back. Now, coming up in the next 30 minutes, I'll show you how local shelters are handling the increase in people who are trying to find a warm place to stay. Live in Gaston County, I'm Gina Esposito, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Gina. Stay warm. We have put a full list of those school delays for you on WSOCTV.com and at the bottom of your screen.
New this morning, Traffic Team 9's Mark Taylor joins us with more on your morning drive. Mark?
Yeah, we've been monitoring that issue over in Gaston County this morning. It's a power outage. We're right now live on the scene of that substation off of South New Hope Road. It's affecting multiple traffic signals in the area as well. So if you're traveling out in the next couple of minutes, you're going around Franklin Boulevard. You're heading from New Hope Road, heading towards Redbud. You're going to see them there, especially along New Hope Road. Down towards Redbud and Hudson as well. Armstrong Park, Cox Road, all affected with this. We're asking details exactly why. The ETA right now is 9 o'clock, so we'll have more on that coming up. In the meantime, the interstate's back in Charlotte, flowing freely, not seeing any big slowdowns to start things off. Brittany?
Well, there are a lot of heartbroken Clemson fans this morning as the football team failed to make it back to the championship game. Alabama dominated the Tigers throughout the Sugar Bowl last night. Clemson trailed 10-3 at the half, but then quarterback Kelly Bryant threw 2 interceptions, allowing Alabama to extend their lead. The Crimson Tide won 24-6.
You got to be able to run the ball effectively and take care of the ball, and we didn't do those things tonight. And you're not going to beat a good team like Alabama when you don't do that.
Alabama celebrated during their trophy presentation. They will get ready for an SEC matchup in the title game against Georgia. Georgia came back to beat Oklahoma in double overtime in the Rose Bowl yesterday. The Bulldogs won 54-48. Georgia and Alabama will play in Atlanta on Monday night. Now, of course, there is a massive fan base of both of those teams nearby, so ticket prices have skyrocketed. We checked overnight. Take a look at this. The cheapest tickets we could find on Ticketmaster.com, $2,100. Lower level seats were going for up to $15,000. Now, this will be the second time in 7 seasons that 2 SEC teams are competing in the national title game. You can see a preview of Monday's game along with a slideshow from yesterday's game on WSOCTV.com.
New this morning, the Red Cross is helping a family whose home caught fire in Kannapolis. The fire department sent us this picture of the scene on Dale Earnhardt Boulevard around 9 o'clock last night. You could see the smoke pouring from that home and all the fire. Firefighters think that an electrical issue may have started the fire, but they are still investigating. Families in the Elizabeth neighborhood may have trouble falling asleep tonight because of this. Charlotte DOT says that they're going to start that jackhammering again there on the Hawthorne Lane Bridge after taking a break at the end of December. Neighbors have complained, but crews have to do the work overnight because it requires closing part of Independence Boulevard. There will be some relief. Contractors are no longer allowed to chip the road at night. Several state road construction projects are going to resume tonight, too. The NCDOT put the projects on hold to help with holiday travel. New numbers show rent in Charlotte is continuing to climb.
Renters are paying about $20 more per month than they were just last January. Eyewitness News reporter Mark Barber is live for us in South Charlotte, where he's learned that this is causing trouble for a lot of families.
It certainly is, Brittany. A lot of the families here at the Melrose Place apartments just over my shoulder here in South Charlotte say that they're on a fixed income. So when these apartments are torn down, there won't be any other apartments that they're actually able to afford. The owner of the apartments here at Woodlawn Road and Park Road is kicking all of the residents out later this year because a developer is going to build expensive townhomes in their place. Even though new apartments are under construction across Charlotte, frustrated families say they're only opening at high price points. New numbers just released yesterday show the city's rental prices grew another 2% last year, raising the rate of the average 2-bedroom apartment to $1,090.
They're just building it for the rich people. We poor.
Now, the nonprofit Enterprise Community Partners says that Charlotte needs an extra 21,000 affordable apartments just to house all the people who make less than half of the city's typical salary. Live here in South Charlotte, Mark Barber, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now, in November, we told you Charlotte City Council wants to help families who can't afford luxury apartments but also don't qualify for affordable housing. They want to use grant money to help those families find available apartments and even help them pay for it. Now, the idea is in the beginning stages. It's not clear right now how much money each family would get or how long that assistance would last.
Organizers are hoping for a repeat of this, a women's march through uptown Charlotte. Thousands attended last year, and there's now planned for another march uptown January 20th. It'll go from First Ward Park to Ramir Bearden. Charlotte was one of many cities nationwide to hold a women's march last year promoting women's rights. This year, North Carolina officials will focus more on drone safety. The Department of Transportation is planning drone workshops across the state, and they will cover topics like federal and state regulations, flight operations, and data management. Police and firefighters are scheduled to attend a workshop in Gaston County, January 24th.
Even though the South Carolina gas tax is going up another 2 cents in July, there is a trick that you can now do to save money. To earn a tax credit under the new law, save your receipts when you get car work done or buy gas. You can then claim those expenses on your 2018 taxes, and you will be reimbursed for the higher amount you paid in taxes when your returns come back. Now, if you apply for that tax credit, it's expected to save you approximately $15 this year. The gas tax also makes it more expensive to register your car. Drivers under 65 will now pay $40 every 2 years. That is up from $24 Older and disabled drivers will pay $36. That's up from $20. And there is also a new road user fee for electric car owners, and that comes to $120. For hybrid owners, it is $60. There are some new tax breaks this year. You can also now claim a tax deduction for 50% of your child's tuition. That's up from 25%. The maximum deduction also grows to $1,500.
Breaking overnight, South Korea has offered to hold talks with North Korea to find ways to cooperate during the Winter Olympics next month. It comes a day after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said in his New Year's address he would send athletes to the Games. He also repeated nuclear threats against the U.S. South Korean officials hope to meet with the North next Tuesday. And breaking in the past 15 minutes, Iran's supreme leader made his first statement since deadly protests. He accused, quote, enemies of Iran of meddling in the country. 9 more people died in protests overnight, and it all centers around the country's economic issues. President Trump and other American leaders have said they support the protesters.
Your time is now 6:09. Today, Cornelius police officers will finally shave their beards after 2 months of fundraising, all to benefit this little boy fighting a rare brain tumor. The officers have been growing their beards and raising money for Jace Thompson since the beginning of November. Jace's mother is a Cornelius officer. For one Cornelius sergeant, this will be the first time he has shaved his mustache in 25 years. If you are having a hard time getting out of your covers this morning, this ought to wake you up. Take a look at this. Nearly 150 people chose to jump into Lake Norman in the freezing temperatures. Look at that. They're even smiling. This is for the annual Polar Plunge. You're looking at pictures right now from our partners at the Statesville Record and Landmark. The event raised thousands of dollars for local charities. Man, I guess doing good does make your heart warm.
Yeah, I just repeat to myself going in that water, it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause.
Right.
It's for a good cause.
And now we have photos. We have proof that they stuck it out.
Yeah, they had fun though.
They did. It's the latest from meteorologist Keith Monday. Keith, it's a little bit cold to choose to do that.
Yeah, but it was for a good cause, so that is good. They had a good purpose for doing it. It's 13 to 12 degrees. Charlotte Metro, single digits below zero. Up in the Ohio Valley, teens below zero in the upper Midwest. This is where the cold air just keeps plunging in from and will continue to do so for the remainder of this week. So this dangerously cold air showing no signs of letting go. Coming up, we'll talk about this next storm system that's going to develop just off the Carolina coastline. We will stay in bow dry, but some parts of the Carolinas will actually see snow coming into tomorrow. Now let's get you out there on the roads this morning. Got some breaking traffic news. What's going on, Mark?
Yeah, we've been dealing with power outage over Gaston County, so we've been right now watching as crews are trying to restore power to hundreds out in Gaston County. We're at the substation right now, South New Hope Road. Right now we're told 9 o'clock will be the ETA. They hope to have everything restored. Right now, if you are heading in the area in the stretch in Gaston County, it's mainly to the east and down to the south where you're going to see these malfunctioning traffic lights along with the outage. Right now, again, there's about 300 outages, substation on New Hope Road. Weather related, but they're not sure exactly what has caused this. But Garrison, Robinwood, along New Hope Road, also Franklin Boulevard will all be affected.